All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It is time for Team VLR Racing here with the Accelerated UMP Modified Series live from the Lanier National Speedway. We are set for qualifying and heats coming up shortly. Practice has just advanced, so qualifying about to take place right now. Race number 8 on the season, so we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, folks. Every week matters even more. Howard Weaver on top of the points by 9 over Dylan Wilson. And it's a big gap back to third to Virgil Graham. Cars now taken to the track. Joining me tonight in the booth is, as it was Sunday, Blake McCandless. And how you doing tonight, bud?
Doing great, and glad to be back in a familiar spot. I've been pretty accustomed to coming to the Lanier Speedway here on the iRacing Dirt Service, and it always provides a great race, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Always puts on a great show with these UMP Modifieds. I had to say, some of the best racing we've seen out of the Team VLR guys have come here at this track. Let's see, who are we following around here? Let's look at the 19 of Garrett Nabergi, getting ready to take his first lap down here. He runs a 14.729, puts a quick time on the board, just ahead of Trevor Fitson at 28. He's got one more lap to go around and put down his qualifying time. So, of course, as always, to get 2 laps, and then we get into our heat races, and not the shortest track anymore here at Lanier, but one of the shortest on the dirt side of the iRacing service. So, race is going to go pretty fast. We got a 75 lap feature coming up after we decide who makes the field through these heats and the B mains. So a lot of exciting racing coming to you here live on the Off Camber TV network.
You know, one thing that's great about this Lanier Speedway, and even I've kind of become familiar with it driving in a street stock on here, albeit it's not a UMP modified. It's always interesting to see what line comes into play here. Obviously, there's not a lot of banking here in these long sweeping corners here at Lanier. So you're always wondering, is that bottom right up against, really right up against that pit road wall, if that's going to be the preferred line, or if, you know, you're kind of going to drift up into the middle groove, especially on that bottom groove. You have kind of a little bit of an area because of the asphalt configuration where it's flat, and then you have a little bit of banking just above it where you want your rear tires. So it'll be interesting to see what the preferred line is here tonight as we continue to go along and the track continues to wear in.
And Dylan Wilson on top of the speed charts right now with a 14.634. Garrett Nabergi ran a 6.65. Cody Olson right now, your top 3 in qualifying is, as I say, that Virgil Graham in that 42 car. Third in points. Right behind second in points, and Dylan Wilson. And Dylan Fox goes to the top of the board with quick time with a 14.616. So lap time starting to click off here. Got about a handful of drivers still yet to hit the track and put down a qualifying effort. A couple of other names having a little bit of problems here. Leverstein in the 777 struggling a little bit. Only ran a 14.84. So, I mean, 2/10. Not really struggling all that much, but he's towards the back of the pack here, maybe about 16th, 17th on the board, as qualifying is getting ready to start wrapping up here with Dylan Fox still on top of the leaderboard. Looking for, let's see, Dylan Hauser out on track right now, going to complete his first lap as he makes his way through turns 3 and 4 in that number 5 machine, the white and green, lime green car. He's going to go till about the middle of the pack, right behind Leverstein, actually, in that 5 car, driving it through the slick. Doesn't really look to be the fastest line out here on the racing surface. Let's see if he can improve his time. He will not. Only a couple of drivers still yet to qualify. Howard Weaver just finished his qualifying attempt in that 07 car. He's up to position 7. So he's probably going to be in either the second or third heat, depending on how many we get here tonight.
Well, yeah, but I think the one thing that kind of sticks out, and really that's just a product of being here at Lanier, where not a ton of speed, And there's just not a lot of separation between these guys. You can look at Dylan Fox, a 14.616 up in that first spot. But, I mean, you look all the way down this field, we got guys that are qualifying in the 20s that are really only 0.2 of a second off of those guys. So that's just one product of being here at a short track that doesn't carry a lot of speed, is that you see really, really similar lap times. And again, I know I mentioned it Sunday, but I think that's going to come into play tonight. Is track position also going to be important, because it's not as fast as some of these other tracks. Kind of hard to get some speed and try to pass some folks.
Well, that all depends on how this track wears in. We'll see if we can get a 2-groove racetrack or not. If it's going to be a single groove, yes, track position is going to be extremely key here. But if that outside can get to working as well, or if the outside is dominant and the inside starts to come around, we should see a lot of side-by-side door slamming action. Ryan Flatten on the track going to end his qualifying run here. He ran a 14.905 on his first lap. As he hits the stripe, he shaves off a couple thousandths, but does not advance in his positioning. And looks like that is going to be about it. We do have a couple of cars still out there making some practice laps. Dylan Hauser's still going the distance, going for speed. So qualifying is over. That's going to give Dylan Fox quick time tonight. And he'll start out of position number 4 after the invert in heat number 1, as heat 1 starting to head to the starting grid. Looks like we're going to have 4 heats tonight, possibly a C and a B main.
All right, sounds like a night full of racing, but let's go ahead and get you set up for heat number 1. The grid coming up just now. Benjamin Nading is going to start in first in that number 21. Starting in second is going to be the 00 of Kendall Tucker. Starting in third is going to be the number 9 of Cody Olson. And to his outside, like you were just mentioning, what's that 9.99 of Dylan Fox with the quickest time in qualifying. Fifth is going to be Josh Phillips. Sixth is going to be Ryan Flayton. Seventh is going to be probably the best name out here, Blake Brown. And then in eighth is going to be the 23 of Dalton Connor.
Now, we're used to seeing Fox in the 99. Doesn't look like anybody stole his number, but you add a number and he goes to the top of the charts. So I guess adding that extra 9 unlocked a little bit of extra horsepower in that Elite 7 Motorsports car. Cars are now rolling around this 3.8-mile track. Got 2 parade laps. And when we come back to the green, that 21 car of Benjamin Nading going to have the command of the field. So heat number 1 going to set the tone for tonight. Let's see if these boys get through turns 1 and 2 cleanly. Or is there going to be a lot of carnage here? Only 8 cars on the track for this first heat. You can see he's got a lot of separation between that pace truck, and the field itself. So we should expect to start out of the middle of turns 3 and 4 with this much space in between the pace truck and the field. So getting set to go green, heat number 1, 10 laps on the board, not a lot of time to make up a lot of positions. So we're going to see if that 99 of Dylan Fox can get himself into a feature transfer spot. Top 3 move on to the feature. Race number 1 on the night is underway. Benjamin Nading gets passed on the outside by Kendall Tucker to 00. 00 is going to take the lead going into turn number 1. Dylan Fox already up to third, getting around that 9 of Cody Olson as they head into turns 3 and 4 for the first time tonight. A lot of single file, a little bit of side-by-side towards the back between Flatten and Brown, or actually Flatten and Phillips now, as the top 5 are single file. Flatten goes around in turn 2.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, when you run the bottom here at Lanier, you run into problems. When you run right up against that pit road wall, it's a pretty common mistake that guys get their nose bent on that inside wall, and there's really nothing you can do. The car goes around, it stops your momentum, and it looks like that's going to end the 15-day a little bit early here in heat number 1.
He'll always have another chance to get through C and B mains, but it's going to be pretty tough, seeing as how he's going to be multiple laps down in that 15 car. But Kendall Tucker under fire from that 21 as he's completing lap 4. We got 6 laps left to run in heat number 1. The 21 trying to find some speed there, keeping that right rear tire just outside of the slick in both turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And Dylan Fox maintaining that transfer spot in at 999. Got a hungry number 9 of Cody Olson back there in 4th, not letting him get away from him.
I was about to say Cody Olson actually is turning the fastest laps on the racetrack right now at 14.776, quicker than all 3 that are in front of him. But of course, running fast is one thing, trying to pass is another. He put up a 14.693 that last time out. He's going to look to the inside of that 999 at Fox. Looks like he's just not able to do it. That middle to high line right on the edge of that slickness looks like where you want to be right now.
Kendall Tucker still out front, leading all 8 laps so far. Coming out of turn number 4, we have 2 to run, and the battle for the lead and battle for that transfer spot starting to heat up now. That 9 car, he's got about 6 more corners to do something with that 999 if he wants to go ahead and take a breather for the rest of the evening until we get to the feature. But white flag in hand at the flag stand for Kendall Tucker. 4 more corners for that 00 to take the first race of the night home. And looks like Nading's not going to have anything for him. Last chance for that 21. He doesn't get it in there all too well. The 00 going to take it. The 21 and the 999. Dylan Fox going to transfer over to the feature. Cody Olson, Josh Phillips, Blake Brown, Dalton Connor, and Ryan Flatten are going to head to the C or B main.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cody Olson wanted 1 more lap. He was positioned pretty well to try to make a move there in turn number 1 after the checkered flag flew. But again, that's why these races are 10 laps. But I believe we're going to move on to heat number 2 coming up just right now. The 29 of David Helleman going to restart in first, and to his outside is going to be the number 3 of Shane James. Chad Wheeler in the 88 is going to start in 3rd. Dylan Wilson in the 80 will start in 4th. The 777 of Jacob Leverstein in 5th. Adam Bush will start in 6th. Matt Short will start in 7th, and then Zach Rounds will start in 8th.
So Dylan Wilson, second quick qualifier now. Starting on that outside of row number 2, we saw on the start for heat number 1 that outside was king to get those spots pretty quickly. Heileman, he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him. Let's see if he's going to play a little bit of a mind game here on this restart, try and get out in front of Shane James. But of course, you know, a couple of the fastest guys out here in these modifieds between all top 5, really. Adam Bush has been coming strong as of late, but those top 5 definitely could win any given Wednesday here in the UMP Modified Series. Chad Wheeler looking to change his luck around. Green flag is out. Heileman down and away. Gets in front of James with a tuck right in front of him. As we go into turn number 1, James going to cross him over. Goes to the inside in that 3-car. Heileman is going to prevail, though, with that high side momentum. Dylan Wilson on the outside of that red 88 of Chad Wheeler as he's taken over the 3rd spot. Wheeler back to 4th on lap number 1.
Yeah, that bottom lane not working out for that 88 car, but how about these top 3 running nose to tail? You can't really separate them right now. Chad Wheeler, though, still trying to make it work on the bottom and try to make up into 3rd place for that transfer spot.
Yeah, he's had a tough run of it the last 2 weeks. Missed a feature both weeks after leading the points coming into week number 5. So he's got his work cut out for him, though. He's got the points leader right in front of him and a couple of fast guys in front of the 80 car. So he's going to have to hope a mistake happens here if he wants to get this transfer spot, or he's just going to have to get the lead out hammered down and try and get around that 80 of Dylan Wilson. The battle heating up for that lead. James now to the inside of Heileman as they roll off of turn number 2. This time by, we're going to get halfway. James had to check up there. You see Wilson sliding up and gaining a lot of momentum on that 29 and 3 car. Heileman going to lead here at halfway.
He is. I just don't know how much you can muster. You got to be able to get a good run now, as James will actually be under assault from that 80 car. He's able to slide up and not complete the pass, but Dylan Wilson also trying to become a part of this battle for the lead. But I think really the only way you can get by is a mad slide job. There's just that top line is just a little bit too dominant right now, and I just don't think you can make it work on the bottom to try to pass these cars.
James all into the back of Heileman getting into turn number 1. He's still there to the inside. Heileman with the high side momentum going to maintain that lead. Wilson still trying to make something work there, driving through the slick. He's side by side with James, but James getting so much speed coming off the corner in that 3 car. Maintains that second position. Wheeler was under fire from Leverstein there for a little bit, and Leverstein's going to fall back into 6th place as white flag is out for that 29 car.
White flag for Heilemann one more time around. Shane James going to try to arc it off of turn number 2 to get some momentum. We'll see if he makes a move here in 3 and 4. He decides to play it safe. Dylan Wilson will try the bottom, but nevertheless, Heilemann going to be first across the line. He'll take heat number 2 with Shane James close behind him in 2nd. Dylan Wilson will finish in 3rd in the final transfer spot to the A main. 4th is going to be Chad Wheeler. 5th is going to be Josh Phillips. 6th, Blake Brown. 7th, Dalton Connor. And 8th, it's going to be Ryan Flatten.
All right. Well, heat number 3. I'm about to get onto the grid here on the front stretch at Lanier. A couple of good races so far. Pretty clean. Only had 1 car go around between 16 of the competitors. Grid is up. John Literal, the 68 car, going to roll off in pole position for heat number 3. Trevor Fitz going to start to his outside in that number 28 car. The 07 of Howard Weaver going to roll off from the 3rd position. And the 42 of Virgil Graham going to start in position number 4. Dylan Hauser in the 5 car going to roll off in 5th. 6th goes to the 84, Clay Devon. Drew Phillips in the 22 going to start in 7th. And that's an admin, so we're not going to count him in the grid here tonight.
All right, that'll round it up. And my apologies, I listed off the bottom 4 cars for heat number 1. 5th in heat number 2 was Zach Round. 6th, Jacob Leverstein. 7th, Matt Short. And then 8th is Adam Bush. So correction on that. So that was the end of heat number 2. But heat 3 is getting set up here. I think we only got 7 guys out on the racetrack here. And I think really the biggest thing we have to watch for is a high, really what Kendall Tucker was able to do in that first heat. Restarts seem to be key, especially on that high side. If you can get a good jump, you might be able to pass that guy that's in first beneath you.
And one guy we're gonna have to watch out for, that 42 Virgil Graham, 3rd quickest in qualifying tonight. Howard Weaver stuck on an inside as well, so not exactly the preferred position for that 07 car. So we're going to have to see if he can get around one of these drivers in front of him and not get himself into any trouble in this heat. Another 10 laps being put up on the scoring pylon. John Literal going to have command of the field. Pace truck is off. 68 starts us off here. Green flag. Oh, Literal's going to almost go around on the front stretch. Weaver had to check up for that. Fitz actually got a little piece of the 68. Weaver up to 3rd now. Graham in a 42 car on the high side, under fire from Hauser, trying to get that 3rd spot away from Weaver. He's not going to be able to do it. Hauser now to the inside of Virgil Graham. Battle is on for the transfer spot between 3 cars.
Yeah, and how about that recovery there from Literal? Got a bad restart, but he's able to make it back up to the 2nd spot. Now Weaver trying to get into that 2nd position. He's going to try the bottom lane. Looks like he has it off of 2, but Literal uses that momentum, goes back by, and now Weaver's under assault for the transfer spot from the 42.
42 with Graham on the bottom. Drag racing to the line. Graham would have had it if that was the white flag lap. So that battle heating up between those 3 cars. Hauser just lurking back there in 5th. But Graham finding something on that bottom to be able to maintain some speed with that 07. Now going to slide back up into the high line in front of that 5 car. John Literal under attack from that 07. Weaver with the slider for 2nd place. Literal's going to cross him over. Just not enough momentum for that 07 to complete the pass. But now we're halfway through heat number 3. Here goes Graham to the inside. He gets a little piece of, I think Hauser might have got into him. Maybe a little contact between him and the 07. But Hauser's going to have to reset. He lost a ton of time, and so did Virgil Graham in that 42.
Well, Wes, I think that's the only way you're going to be able to pass cars here on the bottom. You're going to have to slide it in. Fortunately, Literal was able to cross him over, but I think for now, with how dominant that middle to high line's been, that's what you're going to have to do. Throw it in there, pray it sticks, and pray that you're not able to get crossed over.
Still on the assault is that 07. He's not satisfied with just a transfer spot. He wants to start further up towards the front of the field here in the feature coming up after we run our C and B mains. He's there. John Literal really slow off of turn number 2. Weaver going to throw the slider into turn number 3, and he's got the spot. First pass we've seen on track tonight for position. Give it to the 07 of Weaver. Now Graham sets his sights on that 68 as the white flag is out for Trevor Fitz into 28. He's driven away from this battle. He's going to take home the checkered flag. Weaver in second. Literal going to complete the transfers from heat number 3, and Virgil Graham harikaris into the outside retaining wall.
Yeah, well, that's gonna end heat number 3 there, or yes, heat number 3. And I think the one thing you get to see there is perhaps that high side. I mean, obviously it's still the place you want to be as of right now, but I think Highwood Weaver trying to show these guys how you can pass on the bottom. Obviously, we haven't really seen that tonight, but I think he's opening the door to show that once that high groove starts to get worn out, it's possible.
All right. Grid for heat number 4 is up. Randall Carter going to start on the pole here. Mike Molnar in the 56 going to start to his outside. The 66 of Ronnie Falloway, he is back. He's going to roll out of third. And Garrett Nabergi in the 19 car going to start out of the 4th position. Lucas Chowning, the 47 in 5th. 6 goes to Ryan Gaunt in the 20 in 7th. Coming to 38 of Tommy Rowe. Another 10 laps on the board. Please, officials, and let's get heat number 4 underway here after one more parade lap.
We'll get them underway here, and again, it's something I brought up before the last heat, and obviously it became a problem. John Litterall did not get a great launch off that restart, and we know Kendall Tucker took heat 1 because of a good restart. These guys in heat 4 have probably been paying attention. Look for them to be really aggressive on this restart to try to make up as much spots right off the bat as they can.
All right, well, here we go. Last heat of the evening. Randall Carter down and away in that 37 car. Mike Molnar gets a great jump on that high side. As you said, Blake, he's going to take the lead as we go into turn 1. We had some 3 wide back behind him between the 19. Oh, the 19 just got the door slammed on him by the 37. Now they're back 3 wide for that transfer spot. Back here, that was the 66 and the 47, I believe, went 3 wide there for a minute. They're 3 wide for 4th now, rolling down the backstretch. Gaunt. Ooh, that 20 car very out of shape as they coming off of turn number 4. But Nabergi gets that final transfer spot right now. Falloway looking to make some time up and get back up there to battle for that. But the battle for the lead's heating up as well.
It certainly is, as Ronnie Falloway is able to get away with that 4th spot out of that battle. But right now, Mike Molnar, after a great restart, Randall Carter looks like he may be the faster car early on. He's starting to make up some ground. Of course, being able to get to him and pass him is another thing as we approach halfway in heat number 4. It looks like Carter's going to try to dive it to the outside, but it looks like the 56 rather shuts the door. He gets into the outside wall. Carter goes, and Molnar's going to lose a ton of spots. He's flipping off the crossover gate in turn 3. That's going to put the 56 out of this thing after being in the lead.
That was impressive. Kickflip Tony Hawk, Pro Skater 3 out of turn number 3. Going to give Carter the lead. Nabergi up to second. Falloway now in a transfer spot. He's going to have Lucas Chowning looking to catch up and get around him, as Falloway is actually up to second after getting around Nabergi. Excuse me, scoring and positioning was off for me right there. But as they come off of turn number 4 to complete lap number 7, I don't think that battle for that lead is over. Falloway, he's got a fast hot rod underneath him tonight.
Yeah, he certainly does. Able to put it up the middle 3 wide and emerge from that battle early on in this thing, and he is definitely running down Randall Carter. As we look at the lap times across the board, it looks like the fastest car on the track was indeed that 66 the last time up, so the 66 starting to run him down, but he's running out of time. White flag is in the air.
Yeah, one more time around for heat number 4. Randall Carter has a spot, got about a half a second advantage last time at the line over Falloway. It looks like Falloway's just going to save what he's got right now. Going to bring it home in second. Gaunt in the wall behind him, but Carter's going to get the win. Falloway, Nabergi going to transfer to the feature. Lucas Chowning, Ryan Gaunt, and Tommy Rowe and Mike Molnar going to have to go through what is going to be just a B main. We're going to have 19 cars out here for 8 laps for 12 spots.
Well, I'm glad that I'm now spectating a sport where contact was allowed. Earlier, I was bogged down and had to watch our women's lacrosse game. But now we're out here on the dirt where contact is not only allowed, it's probably encouraged, and we're going to see a lot of it now with 19 cars thrown onto this small racetrack. And you only have 8 laps to try and make up all the ground you can. So this is going to be an exciting B-main right here.
And of course, you know, Molnar, after taking that nasty flip, he's going to be starting out at position number 16, so he has a couple of spots to make up if he wants to get into the show. But still, a lot of fast guys still peppered throughout the rest of the field. Grid is going to be on the ticker, so I'm going to run through that real quick. Cody Olson in the 9 car. Going to have the pole position for our B main here. Chad Wheeler in the 88 going to start to his outside in row number 1. Got the 42 of Virgil Graham going to start out of position number 3. And Lucas Chowning out of 4th. 5th goes to Josh Phillips. Zach Rounds in 6th. Dylan Hauser in 7th. Ryan Gaunt in 8th. 9th goes to Blake Brown. And 10th going to be the 777 of Jacob Leverstein. Drew Phillips in the 22 starting in 11th position. 12th going to be Tommy Rowe. Dalton Connor in 13th. 14th Matt Short. Clay Devin in 15th. 16th Mike Molnar. Ryan Flatten in the 17th spot. Adam Bush in 18th. So 18 cars, 12 positions. We're going to send 6 more drivers home here. One more time around under command of the iRacing Pace Truck. And Cody Olson in that 9 car, after charging pretty hard through heat number 1, he's going to have a shot here to maybe even take a checkered flag home, but he's got to fend off another 17 cars. Pace Truck is off. The 9 car is down and away. Green flag is out for the B-main. 8 laps on the board as Olson's going to have the lead heading into turn number 1. Wheeler in the 88 car going to follow in his tire tracks. He's actually got the 47 of Lucas Chowning peeking to the inside of him right there. Virgil Graham at 42 stuck on the inside. Hauser gets into Chowning behind him. Hauser goes up to 4th as Graham still on that inside lane in that 42 trying to get around that 88 of Chad Wheeler.
Yeah, he's trying to make up the ground the best way he can, and right now it looks like he is able to keep pace, not be able to slide up in front just yet. That's going to put a car to the outside of the 42. It's going to put Dylan Hauser into the wall, but he's able to keep it going on the high side. But right now, Chad Wheeler looking out front, trying to run down Cody Olson.
And Graham and Hauser still doing battle here. Zach Rounds in that 4 car now to the outside of that 42. Almost to the inside of that 5 car as Graham now back into the 5th position as we're heading out of turn number 4. Once again, Chowning in that 47, the all gray with the Punisher logo on the front of it. Maintaining that 6th position. Behind him, Gaunt. And it looks like Leverstein doing a little bit of battling as well. Now Virgil Graham trying to get there. Chad Wheeler to the inside of Dylan Hauser for that 2nd position. Wheeler's going to throw the slide job in that 88 car to 5. Crosses him back over, takes back over that 2nd position for right now. Wheeler going to have to back off and cross him back over out of turn number 4. We only have 2 laps left to run.
Yeah, Wheeler stacked him up on the high side, and that's going to cause some mayhem. Cars are around in turn number 1, but we're going to keep it green. White flag is coming out for Cody Olson. One more time around. Dylan Hauser holds it down in 2nd. Chad Wheeler 3rd, but he's receiving a battle from Zach Rounds for 4th.
Yeah, top 5, all single file. Rounds trying to get that 3rd position all the way on the bottom onto that apron. Olson gets the win. Hauser, Wheeler, Rounds, Graham, your top 5. You got Blake Brown, Ryan Gaunt, Drew Phillips, Ryan Flatten, Jacob Leverstein, Clay Devin, and Lucas Chowning going to be your top 12, advancing to our feature here in a couple of minutes. Dalton Connor, Matt Short, Mike Molnar, Tommy Rowe, Josh Phillips, Adam Bush, and Garrett Adam Bush are going to go home for this evening's festivities. So, going to have that feature for you just in a few moments.
Actually, Wes, I'm going to have to cut you off. We're receiving word from Race Control that the 15 of Ryan Flatten will be receiving an end of longest line penalty for some contact in that race, so he will not be joining the A main tonight. And I believe that's going to move our 13th place finisher. That's going to be the 23 of Dalton Connor is going to qualify his way into the A main tonight.
All right. Well, before we go over to our feature server, we have to give a shout out to our sponsors here. We got to thank X.CELERATED for title sponsoring all 3 of our series for the Big 3 this season. Also got to thank WR1 Sim Chassis. They're going to be giving away a sim rig to the modified champion this season. Team Friday Chassis Consultants sponsoring the fastest lap for all 3 series. Tonight's Hard Charger Award is sponsored by Burberry Designs. And, of course, the Kenny Wallace Dirt Racing Experience for giving out a free drive to all of our VLR champions. Also got to thank a couple of our affiliates here, STLRacing.com, Extreme Race Graphics, World of Dirt, the Dirt Racing Connection, and Magnolia Motor Speedway. All of the affiliates are listed at the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Of course, go check them out on Facebook. Every single one of these sponsors has a Facebook page, so make sure you go and check them out. We are going to transfer over to the feature session here, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Introducing a whole new form of racing to the best online racing simulation in the world. This is Dirt Racing on iRacing.com. Race online at some of America's most legendary dirt tracks, including Eldora and Williams Grove. iRacing is the premier online racing game featuring NASCAR, IndyCar, sports cars, and now World of Outlaws, the leading sanctioning body for dirt racing. iRacing is easy to use and features a centralized ranking system to make sure you have the best experience at any skill level. With a massive inventory of high-precision laser scan tracks and cars with an unmatched dedication to quality and detail, iRacing gives you the most authentic online racing experience available. Thanks to iRacing's dynamic track system, developed specifically for dirt racing, tracks change over the course of a race, just like your favorite dirt track on a Friday or Saturday night. From a slick racing groove all the way up to the cushion, iRacing's dirt tracks deliver non-stop racing action. Partnered with the World of Outlaws, iRacing is your source for the most authentic dirt racing experience available, featuring 4 brand new tracks and 11 new cars, including street stocks, Legends cars, late models, NASCAR trucks, winged and non-winged sprint cars, with much more on the way. Join the Dirt Revolution on iRacing.com and start slinging mud today.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here in the feature server. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, we have 75 laps of UMP modified racing here at the Lanier National Speedway. For you coming up here after we get through a little bit of warm-up. They're trying to tear up the track a little bit. It's way tacky out there as of right now. But 24 of the top UMP modified drivers about to do battle here for week number 8 of the Accelerated UMP Modified Series presented by WR1 Sim Chassis. There is the advance to the next session. So we're going to get right into it. Blake, what are you expecting out of tonight?
Well, I'm looking out at the racetrack, and it's not near as slick as the heats we had. So I'm expecting that the top line that we saw become so prominent early on is not going to be near as important. Obviously, these guys just wore a little bit of the track out for practice, but I think you're going to be able to see racing on the bottom and the top of the racetrack for this feature.
Right. Well, drivers are trying to get out here to the grid, pushing those modifieds out here, loading in as we speak. I'm going to let a couple more drivers get out here. And yeah, just get them on the grid. We'll have that for you guys momentarily. All right, I'm going to go ahead and roll through it now, as producer's telling me. So, the 999 Dylan Fox, quick time winner and pole sitter here tonight in row number 1. Alongside him is going to be that number 80 car, the points leader of Dylan Wilson. So, an all Dylan front row. Garrett Nabergi going to start out of position number 3 in the 00. Kendall Tucker out of 4th. 17 David Heileman going to start out of position number 5, and Trevor Fitz in the 28 car out of 6th. 7th went to the 37 of Randall Carter. 21 of Benjamin Nading in 8th. 9th Shane James, and rounding out your top 10 is Howard Weaver. Ronnie Falloway and John Littoral make up row number 6.
Starting row number 7 is going to be Cody Olson and Dylan Hauser in 14th. Chad Wheeler, 15th. Zach Round, 16th. Virgil Graham, 17th. Blake Brown in 18th. Ryan Gaunt, 19th. Drew Phillips, 20th. Jacob Leverstein, 21st. Clay Devin, 22nd. Lucas Chowning, 23rd. And then in 24th, rounding out the back of this field, is going to be the 15 of Ryan Flatten. So I guess the EOLL penalty that they assessed, not in effect. But nevertheless, pace truck is about to come off, and the green flag is out at Lanier.
And Dylan Fox didn't get a great jump on that. Oh, Dylan Wilson got a little bit of love from the 00 of Kendall Tucker. Tucker going all the way to the back of the pack. We got a lot of 3 wide happening back there around that 00. James is getting into trouble now in that 3 car. He's falling all the way back through the rest of the field as cars are still side by side. The 00 to 21. Benjamin Nading up here. Oh, cars are going around. Literals around on the front stretch. They're still wrecking on the back stretch into turn number 3.
Just a melee of cars. We saw somebody try to climb the inside wall. I believe that was the 66 of Falloway. Just, wow. I mean, anywhere you look, there was cars beating and banging into each other. So I guess these guys are not used to having 24 all on the same track. But nevertheless, not the great start to the race I think these guys wanted.
No, not at all, but a lot of exciting action throughout the whole field. It all started from the front, and just the accordion effect took place there. Kendall Tucker ended up getting to the back of the 80 and backing off of Wilson, and then calamity ensued right behind him. So a lot of bent-up sheet metal early on here in the going. Dylan Fox and Dylan Wilson still out front after 3 cautions. If we get 3 cautions tonight, we are going to go to single file restart. So we're going to try it 2 more times, double file, and we'll see how these boys can do, see if it calms down here. It looks like we're about to go back green flag racing. Never mind. Caution flag. Caution flag just now thrown out by the admins to get everybody re-racked. So next time by, we're going to go green.
All right, but I think the one thing that run, as brief as it was, showed you is exactly what I was talking about. The bottom line is in play here. It's not out of play, kind of like we saw in the heats. That's why you're able to see 3 and 4 wide racing all the way through the field, basically for the entirety of that run. So I think we're going to see a lot more mayhem before this one comes to a conclusion.
All right. Well, we re-racked him back up. Dylan Fox down and away. Great restart over Dylan Wilson. Wilson going to tuck back in, try to cross him over. The 80 car goes to the bottom of the racetrack. The 99 going to have the momentum, going to have that lead coming out of turn number 2. And just, oh my goodness gracious, in the back they're fanning out 2 and 3 wide back here. You could take a pick of any car out here. You can at least guarantee it's 2 or 3 wide behind our race leaders right now.
That's very true. You can look up right now. I'm following Chad Wheeler in a 3 wide battle. Coming on the front straightaway, he is nestled on the bottom between the 16 as Kendall Tucker, and they're around in turn 2. They're stuck against the inside wall, but they keep it going somehow, and now the caution flag will finally come out and put this field under yellow. Again, just not a lot of room and not a lot of patience being shown out here so far.
No, not so far. Again, the second shortest track on the iRacing service. That 20 car Ryan Gaunt was the one that stopped on the racetrack, brought out the yellow flag after he was involved in whatever happened there. It was just a whole bunch of mess. So second caution on the night. Looks like James and Tucker are going to pull into the pits. Not sure if they're going to end their nights or not. It does look like they're just rolling around the pits in the grass there, so not 100% sure what's happening there with those 2 drivers.
Well, I figured if you take the inside line, it's probably faster. So maybe that's what they're doing. They think the grass is maybe the faster way to go around.
Weaver all the way to the back of the pack. We were just riding along board with him on that replay, so the 07, lot of trouble here early on in the going. Another car back here that's normally towards the front. Virgil Graham in that 42 car. But back up towards the front. We're going to get set to go. Green flag racing. The 5 car of Dylan Hauser got the EOL for that caution. Green flag back out on the speedway, and Wilson got a great jump on Fox. Battle is on for that race lead. The 80 car trying to get there. He's still to the outside. The 999 has him cleared. Back to the bottom they go, and still behind him 3 wide. And it all seems to be happening about where that 88 car Chad Wheeler is. So not sure if we have drivers or bulls out here.
They certainly are, and that's not more evident than this battle for the 8th spot. Cody Olson currently holding it down, but you got Chad Wheeler, that 15 of Ryan Flatten, all over his back bumper. They're 3 wide right now. Olson getting the better of that, but Chad Wheeler now under assault from Lucas Chowning.
Yeah, Leverstein now to the inside of him in a 777. They're 3 wide behind him with Devin Rounds, and I think it was Chowning in that 47 car. Still side by side, a little bit of contact towards the front of the pack between the 21 and the 37 of Carter. Now the 21 to the outside, Carter on the inside of that battle. That's the battle for that 6th position. Top 5 all in a single file line as the battle for the lead starting to heat up between Wilson and Fox. Wilson taking a peek to the inside of Fox. Might have to back off a little bit right there. But back to that 6th place battle. You got that 21 on the outside, the 37 to the inside, Nading and Carter putting on a show for you fans.
They certainly are, and it looks like Carter trying to make the inside work. The caution flag is out, though. I believe we'll have to go back in the pack to find that one. But just as the racing was getting good, we are back under yellow.
And looking for the culprit there. Looks to be about maybe the 22 car. Drew Phillips and John Literal getting into each other on the entrance into turn number 3. Hauser got a little piece of it. Gaunt got a piece of it as well, but everybody's still able to continue rolling forward here as laps are ticking off.
Yeah, it looks like that was a pretty ambitious move, to say the least, right there. Yeah, it looks like he just got into turns 3 and 4 a little bit too hard. Ryan Gaunt ended up being involved in it, so looks like they're gonna ask John Literal to go to the back of the pack, and he'll be assessed that EOLL penalty after that one.
All right, well, just getting word from the admin crew. We are 10 laps down right now. Only green flag laps will count here tonight, and this should be our final restart under the double file rules. Should be going to single file after, or if we get another caution. Dylan Fox down and away. Great jump off of the pace truck. Maintains that lead now to Berge in that 19 car. Gets around Fitz for that 3rd position. The 28 back in 4th. The 17 of Heileman now under fire and 3 wide right behind him between Carter, Nading, and looks like Flatten. Nading into the wall. He's going to go around on the entry into turn 1. Another parking lot in turn 1. Caution has not come out. There is the caution flag for the 4th time here tonight.
Well, and it looked like that was just a classic case of, I believe it was David Heileman just coming up the racetrack when he thought there was room, and there was the 21 of Nading sitting there on the outside wall. That upsets Nading's car, throws it off the wall, and then he'll get into the 37 of Chowning, and like you said, after that, a parking lot in turn 1.
Dylan Fox still leading wire to wire here. I believe we should have 11 laps clicked off of the 75 we have scheduled for tonight. So hopefully these boys calm down a little bit when we go back to single file restarts. Should help us out a little bit. Just double file on this small of a track, just not working out for our competitors here tonight. But I gotta say, I'm sorry about that, but Ryan Flatten on an incredible drive right now from 24th up to 7th. Definitely a contender for that hard charger award tonight.
Yeah, he certainly is. And I mean, what perseverance. We thought he wasn't even going to be in this thing, and now he's sitting in 7th. On that last one, it's going to be actually Benjamin Nading gets the EOL penalty on that, but we're going to have to talk about that later. Green flag is out on the speedway. Dylan Fox still trying to hold down that lead. It looks like he'll maintain it. Everybody else starting to go single file right now as a result of the single file restart. It looks like Trevor Fitz is the one that's trying to make up some ground on that number 19.
Yeah, he's trying. He just can't get enough momentum off of these turns to try and pull off something to get around that 19 of Newbergy. Still single file pretty much throughout the rest of the pack. You can see the track now just starting to slick off just a little bit. But until we can get a lot of green flag laps on this track, that slick not going to be a factor here for too long, as our two leaders, we got Fox and Wilson, still nose to tail up here for that lead. The 999 leading every single lap so far here tonight.
He has, but Dylan Wilson, the other Dylan at the front of this field, is definitely gaining some ground. You can see that he's able to keep pace with them, and he's just trying to find out, where can I go to try and pass this 999? Am I going to be able to make it work on the bottom as that continues to slick up? Am I going to have to throw a slider? Am I going to have to use the high side? But right now, he's just biding his time and patiently waiting behind him. They're not too patient behind him, as Fitz wants all of Newbergy.
And he had a couple of good runs there on that last lap, exiting the turns. You can see the racing line starting to migrate up the track a little bit. Now they're towards the middle of the groove. The bottom just not as fast as it once was, as Newbergy all the way almost to the top of the groove. Fitz still in tow. Heileman up to that 5th position after starting in 5th. So he's rebounded after losing a couple of spots early on in the going. And then, I mean, just behind him, till you get to about Leverstein, who's got Zach Rounds trying to get around him as well. The top 11 cars still single file. Rounds trying to make a charge on that 777.
Yeah, he is. Zach Rounds trying to dive it down to the bottom, not able to make it work off of corner number 2. However, in corner number 3, it looks like he'll be right behind a side-by-side battle between Leverstein and Clay Devin. Clay Devin trying to hold it on the bottom. Leverstein trying to work his way to the outside. The 84 holding him off. Leverstein will poke to the outside line. It looks like he'll try to get there. The 84 holding it down on the bottom allows Leverstein to go by on the high side. And it looks like what we were talking about earlier, that bottom side being so dominant, looks like that's starting to become a thing of the past.
Yeah, Devin all into the inside groove of Leverstein. Leverstein getting around him now. Rounds trying to follow suit behind that 777. But to no avail. He's not going to be able to get there. He's still to the high side, though, as now our race leaders are nose to tail. Wilson and Fox bumping and banging into turn 1 last time around. Wilson getting a good charge into turn number 2, starting to work in that top groove and getting a ton of speed on that 999. There he goes. He goes to the outside. Battle is on for the race lead.
It is, and he's going to use that momentum to clear him going into turn number 3. He just has to dive it down hard enough, arc it off the corner, and at the start-finish line, new leader on the board, it's Dylan Wilson.
Definitely see why he is the points leader here in the UMP Modified Series. Already 3 wins on the season, looking to put number 4 on the board. But they're going to have to start worrying about lap traffic here in a couple of laps, because Ryan Gaunt is only about 3 seconds ahead of him. So how much will lap traffic come into play here?
I think like any race, really anything can go wrong at any time, and really it's all about lane choice. You might want to be running the top here if you're Dylan Wilson. It seems like it's worked well for you to get the lead, but you also have to be mindful of where those guys in front of you are going. They're here to race too. They're not here to pull over for you, but you're just going to have to be mindful of where they go. And I think the one thing that we kind of saw in Martinsville at the Cup Series, guys want to race the leader probably a lot harder than they want to race second place. If you can race the leader hard and a caution comes out, you're still on the lead lap when the caution flag flies. If you get behind the leader, you might as well let the second place guy go. So definitely something that's going to have to weigh on Dylan Wilson's mind as he catches lap traffic.
Yeah, Gaunt pulls off the racetrack, but I tell you what, we've had a dynamite battle back here for 4th and 5th. Heilemann and Fitz have been throwing elbows on each other here. Heilemann now, oh my jeez, you see right behind him, Leverstein went on just a dive bomb of a slide job, trying to get around that 5 of Cody Olson right in front of him. Olson pulled the crossover on him and got the job back done. And now Fitz under fire from Heilemann. That's the battle for that 4th position as they're back into 1 and 2 again. Heilemann almost peeked to the inside there, had to back off a little bit. Fitz tags the wall a little bit as Carter almost gets into the back of that 17 car. Now Carter to the outside of Heilemann. Heilemann's going to lose a spot here, maybe 2.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be stuck there and get Freight Train on the bottom. Contact there between the 17 and the 15 of Flatten, though. It looks like the 17 able to get around. They're 3 wide behind him. They eventually sort that out. But right now, there's quite a battle here for the 5th and 6th spot. Cody Olson trying to hang on and hold off Leverstein in a charging Zach Rounds.
777 almost into the left side of that 5 car out of 4. Now everybody back single file for right now. Gonna anticipate a battle between, it looks to be that 28 and that 37 of Carter, with Heilemann now behind that 37 in 6th position. Heilemann's, he's getting good runs on that 37 as well. Now the 28 car taking a weird lane, had to check up, does that 37. There goes Heilemann to the outside. Battle is on for the 5th spot.
Yeah, it looks like that slick is really making it loose for these drivers, and if you turn the car too much, it just stops right in the middle of the corner. As the 37 and the 15 get together, they're able to sort it out. But you see right there, the 28 had that issue where the car caught too much. It stops in mid-corner, especially with how slick it's getting. You can see it's a lot easier to do now.
There's still a lot of side by side, just inches away from each other between that 15-5 and 37. The 5 car Olson started 13th on the night, up to that 7th position, looking to take 6th away from Ryan Flatten, who right now is our hard chargers. Carter behind him gets a little loose. Zach Round's going to dive into the bottom, put the slide job on that machine, and take over that 9th position.
Well, and he was able to take over 9th because of the battle in front of him. Jacob Leverstein actually threw a pretty mad slider. But right now, Leverstein trying to make it by. They're 3 wide into 3. The 28 still trying to hang on. And then here comes the 17 with a bunch of momentum down the front straightaway. Ryan Flatten and all those guys just battling very hard here on the exit of corner number 2. Fitz is still able to hang on to it. Heilemann is still trying to make it work on the inside. Barely touches the 15. Now Leverstein's into it.
A lot of beating and banging. Heilemann had to get on the brakes there a little bit to avoid running over that 777 after the slide job from Leverstein. Now Heilemann down to the bottom. He's going to try to slide up in front of Leverstein. Not going to work. They're beating and banging coming down the front stretch. Leverstein going to maintain the spot. Heilemann now under fire again. That's Zach Rouse in that 4 car. He's to the inside of Olson with that 5 car, and then they're 2 wide behind him, and Weaver making his way back through the field, already up to position number 11. 45 laps are down, and still green flag racing, still a bunch of side-by-side back here between positions 5 and 11.
Yes, and it looks like Jacob Leverstein, how about the climb he has had? Started in 21st and has done it the hard way, throwing sliders, and he is up to 6th. But right now, it feels like we've abandoned our battle for the lead. We look out front. Dylan Wilson finally catching the lap traffic that we were talking about just a little bit ago. Or, excuse me, Dylan Fox actually in that lead, but he's in lap traffic, and look who's right behind him, Dylan Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson had a lot of trouble getting around this lap traffic here. Fox capitalized on it, takes back over the race lead in that 999. The 21 car not going away quietly. There goes Wilson. He's back to the back bumper of our leader in Fox as they're coming off of turn number 2. What's Fox going to do? He's going to try to go to the inside. Car's in the wall in front of him, a little slower. That 21 car not giving up too easily. He wants to stay on this lead lap. That's Benjamin Nading in 19th position.
Yeah, it looks like that lap traffic starting to hold up Dylan Wilson as Dylan Fox is pinned on the bottom. Wilson is going to get momentum trying to use the high side. They're side by side at the line, but I have a feeling, let's see if he tries to clear the 21. He does. They're 3 wide off of 2. Wilson to the bottom. Fox is on the top. He throws the slider. Fox will cross him back over, takes the lead, but now Wilson has that preferred outside line, but there's more lap traffic in front of them.
And the 21 gets it to the 80 car. That's the second place driver. He bounces off the wall. Literal gets it to the back of the 80 car. That, man, 52 laps down. We're getting down close to 20 laps to go, and Wilson just lost a ton of time because of lap traffic here to that leader in the 999. Now the 999 sets his sights on getting around that 22 of Drew Phillips back here for that 18th position. Dylan Wilson, though, he's definitely not going to be too happy here, as Newbergi just had to move Literal out the way to take that spot over, put Literal back behind him. Literal is a lap down car in 20th.
Yeah, I'd have to say Dylan Wilson is looking out his front mirror, and he is for sure not happy about that 21 car of Benjamin Nading. The guy's, running in 19th position, already a lap down, and he not only held up the leader to allow him to catch him, he hooked him into the outside wall really for no reason. So kind of a poor job of driving there by Benjamin Nading. But how about Dylan Fox able to work his way around lap traffic? And now he's got 2 lap cars as a cushion between him and Dylan Wilson.
And Wilson, I mean, he's definitely aggravated. You could see it in his driving style right now. And you could see all of these bumps on the straightaways as well. You can see the suspension working overtime, especially on corner exits. So that's not helping these cars at all, trying to get set for the next corner. But now the 80 back up to that 21 car. I'm going to see if he can't get around him as well.
Well, it looks like the 80 and the 21 are going after it. Looks like he gives him a little nudge. The 21, though, going to get into him again, as if he hasn't created enough trouble for him already. And now Wilson into the outside wall. He's going to drive right into the 21, but the 21 keeps it going. Dylan Wilson is not a happy camper right now, and he's got to be wary of that 19 of Niebergy, who's now coming to the picture.
Yeah, the 19 car eating this up right now. He is loving it, still on that bottom lane. But Wilson now, he's going to just go ahead and he throws the right-hand side of that car into that 21. I got to tell you, he is a persistent driver there. 80 into the wall trying to get around the 21. And Newbergi going to get around the 80 car for second now. So laps are winding down here, folks. The 80 definitely going to have a yellow flag come out here if he wants to have a chance to battle for this race lead, as lap traffic has now put a 3-second gap between Dylan Fox, our race leader, and this battle for the second position between Newbergi and Wilson.
Well, I think Wesley's trying to create that yellow flag by trying to maybe get that 21 out of shape. Unbelievably, though, Benjamin Nading still holding strong, and actually Wilson will get back by Niebergy for the second spot. And I mean, as much as you may be upset at the 21 and maybe starting the hashtag punt the 21 after this race, you got to be able to kind of clear your mind right here and realize you are racing for second place. If a caution does come out, you still have a chance to run down Fox. So I know he's not going to be happy with the 21, and maybe he can discuss it after the race, but you got to keep your head here and remember that there's still a lot of racing left to run.
And another thing to put on top of that, it's not the 21's responsibility to get out of his way. He can run you as hard as he wants to. The policy is, race like you're still on the lead lap and, run your line. The passing car has to make the pass and make it pretty clean. So now he's trying to get it around that 21 again. He actually does get around that 21 finally here. Lap 64 on the books. We're closing in to 10 laps to go right now. Dylan Fox making his way through turns 3 and 4. We're going to have 9 to run here at the line.
Oh, it looks like Nading got into Niebergy there. Now he's slowing up the 19 car. So I think the 21 just needs to, I guess, take a class in lap courtesy. I know you can race hard, but you don't want to be running into guys, and he's done plenty of that tonight. But right now, under 10 laps to go, and because of all that battling with the 21, you see Dylan Fox has pulled out to about a 3.5-second lead over Dylan Wilson. Garrett Nieberge close behind. And you see another 3-second gap back to fourth with Jacob Leverstein.
And then fifth is almost another 2 or about 1.2 seconds behind in Heilemann. So Fox now smooth sailing as we're coming to 6 laps to go for that 9.99. Dylan Wilson still not able to make up any time. Now he's just running for second. Who's going to be the runner-up here tonight with Nieberge in that 19 car? Wilson, I mean, he's maintaining that high side pretty nice. I don't know how the back end is still staying planted on these straightaways, because them things are just super, super bouncy.
Yeah, they are. It just goes to show you the wear and tear on this racetrack. Again, you got to think 24 guys started this race, and we're running about 75 laps. But right now we're under 4 laps to go. It looks like Dylan Fox, all he has to do is probably not even touch that lap traffic that's in front of him, Chad Wheeler and Shane James, and he'll be able to round this thing home for a victory.
Real quick, we have to go back here to right around where Randall Carter is. There is a 5-car battle between, position 6th and 11th, just about on the racetrack. This is getting good. Dylan Fox has 2 laps to go, but back behind him, I mean, they are putting on a show. You see Weaver trying to get around that 5-car to the inside. Heilemann in the 17, very slow on the inside. He's going to lose a couple of spots to, it looks like, Fitz and Carter. But white flag is out for Dylan Fox, the 9.99, down the back straightaway for the final time tonight through turns 3 and 4. Trying to put Wheeler down the lap, not going to be able to do it. But Dylan Fox is going to take home the checkered flag here at Lanier for race number 8.
He'll take first, but Dylan Wilson looks like he's able to hang on. He will hold on to that second spot. Garrett Nieberge will come home in third. Jacob Leverstein in fourth. And then how about Trevor Fitz rounding out your top 5? And again, how about Jacob Leverstein? Started in 21st, and I mean, he did it the hard way. No cautions, and he drove all the way up through the field to finish fourth. So even though he didn't get the checkered flag tonight, that's a pretty impressive drive.
Yeah, Trevor Fitz going to come home in 5th. Randall Carter 6th. Cody Olson, David Heilemann, Zach Rounds, and Howard Weaver rebounds back to the 10th position. Ryan Flatten, Clay Debin, Virgil Graham, Shane James, Chad Wheeler, Blake Brown, Drew Phillips, Lucas Chowning, Benjamin Nading, John Littoral, Dylan Hauser, Ryan Gaunt, Kendall Tucker, and Ronnie Falloway. Your 24-car field. And we already have everybody in the waiting for an interview right now. So, how about Blake? You are standing by with our 3rd place finisher.
Hey, Garrett, this is Blake up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Well, Garrett, you started 3rd. You brought it home 3rd. It seems like it was a pretty solid day for you out there in the 19.
Yeah, I can't ask for much more than that. A lot of fast guys out here.
All right, and really looking out over this racetrack right now, it's barely an image of what we saw at the beginning of the race. Obviously, the bottom was well in play at the beginning of this thing. How did this track change and evolve, especially with all the green flag racing that we had tonight?
It really stayed on the bottom a lot longer than I thought it would. But as soon as it went towards the middle, it just kept going farther and farther and farther up. And if we would have went maybe a little longer, had maybe a couple more cautions, I think the bottom would have came back in.
All right, Garrett, I guess I got to also ask you about the topic of the day. We see a lot of discussion in the chat right now happening about lap traffic right now. Do you think you were able to get through lap traffic fine, or what battles did you see up there with Dylan Wilson and Dylan Fox? What do you think about some of the troubles they faced trying to get by lap traffic?
I really didn't have any problem. They were mostly battling out. The track really slowed down by the time that they caught right up to the back. So, but I was watching it. For the most part, the lap cars held their line, but I think I seen a few aggressive moves there from the lap cars for sure.
Yeah, definitely going to be the topic of the night after this one is over. But Garrett, I'll hand you the mic. Go ahead and say thank you to anybody who got you up here on the podium for tonight.
As always, thank you guys. Got to thank Team VLR. Got to thank Randall Carter, Jacob Laverstein, and Howard Weaver. I wouldn't be where I am without them guys.
All right, Garrett, thanks. And one more question. Is it Niebuhr G or how do you pronounce your last name?
It's Niebuhr G.
Niebuhr G. All right. Well, that's something to take note of. Obviously, sometimes it's a little tough to tell up here in the broadcast booth. Hopefully, I'm not the first person to get that incorrect, but we'll make sure we fix it for next time. So, anyways, Garrett, congratulations. Good job on a third-place finish.
Yep. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. So, I guess we're going to talk to the man, well, not the man of the hour, but the runner-up there, the number 80 card, Dylan Wilson. You got a copy, bud?
I do. How you guys doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. Probably a lot better than you are right now. Just tell us what was happening out there. We know you like to speak your mind, so just, you had the floor.
Yeah, I mean, we were good, and I thought when I drove around Fox there, I thought we were in prime position to win that deal. But he caught back up pretty quick, so I mean, I don't know if we would have finished any better than second anyways. So, yeah, I don't really know what happened with lap traffic there. I mean, he was racing hard, which is cool, but, I think we got position on him on the outside one time. He just went down in there and never lifted and kind of took our left side off. And my left front was broke after that, so it kind of took away any contention for us to get back up there and maybe make a shot at it. But I think at that point we were probably a second-place car anyways, but we were just able to hang on. And, yeah, that top was super rough, man. I don't know if my front tires were ever on the ground those last 15 laps or so.
Yeah, I know the track got mighty bumpy out there. Almost looked like a halfway roller coaster rolling down those rolling down those straightaways. But a great points nice for you actually, because the leader Weaver finished in 10th tonight. So looking for these last 4 races in this season. Do you still like your chances on taking home that trophy at the end of the year?
Yeah, we keep having some bad luck. Like last week, we were either a second or first place car last week and ended up losing connection out of the server. So I lost a whole bunch of points off of some bad luck. So, it is what it is. I think as long as we don't have any problems like that or bad luck or anything like that, we should be all right the rest of the year. I think straight up we can outrace them these last 4 weeks. But only time will tell. We'll see.
Well, you still have you're still leading the win column as well, so pretty sure you might get at least 1 or 2 more throughout the rest of the season. But congratulations on another runner-up finish. Pretty much we talk to you every week in the booths, but you got any thank yous and any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, I just want to say congrats to Fox. He ran an awesome race, and he's one of the cleanest drivers in the game, so it's fun to race with him. I wish we could have finished that deal out. And thanks to VLR, thanks to you guys for putting all this thing on, and thanks to D1RT team. Trevor, Clay had another rocket ship of a setup. It just didn't work out this week. And Rocket and all the guys over there, thanks.
All right. Well, congratulations goes out to that 80 car once again. Now we're going to bring in the man of the hour, race winner, the 999 tonight of Dylan Fox. You got a copy there, bud?
Yep.
Well, congratulations on the win tonight. Hard-fought victory there between you and Wilson. So from the seat of that 999, tell us how it was out there.
I knew at the beginning of the race I was going to be a bit slower. I decided to switch up my gear a little bit, play for the end of the race. So I'm glad the track slicking off the way it did, so I could run that top like I hope so.
Yeah, well, again, lap traffic did come into play there towards the end. A long green flag run in out tonight. Did you feel like you had any problems slicing and dicing through the back half of the field there?
A little bit of problems right as we caught up to lap traffic. We were running 3 wide for a little bit, I believe. So I was just trying to hold it on the bottom as good as I can, and ended up getting a few good runs and getting past Dylan there.
All right. Well, first checker flag on the season here for Team VLR. Tell us what that means to you here.
Getting the first win for my first win at and VLR is huge to me. I mean, best guys on iRacing are running this league. You got, you know, everybody. You got some new people every week. Feels amazing. I don't know how to explain it really.
All right. Well, Blake, you got anything for our race winner here tonight?
Well, Dylan, it's your first career win here in the VLR UMP Modifieds. How does it feel to go to victory lane for the first time here?
It's just, I don't know, like I said, it's amazing feeling. It's something I've been wanting to check off on the list for quite a while. Feels good, man. I really don't know what to say.
Well, speechless right there. That's your winner, folks. The driver of the number 999 here tonight gets his first career win at Team VLR for the UMP Modifieds. Dylan, congrats, and give a shout out to anybody you need to.
Yeah, I got a few. All my teammates at Elite 7 Racing, they're the biggest help. I mean, they're the ones that get me here, really. And Water Truck Productions for making Drew Hirschko. He makes all of our paints and, you know, videos, and Max Speed TV and Twitch.tv/Fank.
All right, awesome. Congratulations goes back out to our race winner, Dylan Fox, one more time. And I believe it's about time to wrap it up. Blake, you got any final thoughts on tonight's race?
Well, from what looks like it was going to be a pretty long race. Again, we saw a lot of contact early on, but man, it ended up working out. We saw a very long green flag run out there. So, interesting battle for the lead there for a while, but got to give a shout out to all these Team VLR guys for being able to put on a great show. A lot of 2-3 wide racing, but it was very clean for the most part, especially here in the features. So congrats to anybody in this field for putting on a great show tonight.
All right. Well, next time y'all will see us live will be this Sunday night for the Accelerated Sprint Car Series presented by the Dirt Collective. It's no longer going to be any 410s. Everything's going to be 360. So that should be an entertaining race. I'm not sure where we're from, but you can catch us live at 8:30 live on the Dirt Collective Facebook page. And again, got to thank our sponsors as we wrap up here. Accelerated for title sponsoring all three of the series. WR1 Sim Chassis for giving away that sim rig to the modified champion. Team Friday Chassis Consultants for the fastest lap sponsor. The Burberry Hard Charger Award definitely went to that 777 of Jacob Leverstein tonight. Kenny Wallace Dirt Racing Experience, as well as a couple of our affiliates here, Dirt Car Racing, Caper and Screen Printing, World of Dirt, Tennessee Punch Bunch, and Volusia Speedway Park. Got just another thank y'all to all of the sponsors tonight. But for Blake, Dylan, and myself, we are OCTV, and we will see y'all Sunday night. Y'all take care.